very first Cusp of Revolution with Mikey. So this is my podcast. I am Mikey Lane. I follow me on YouTube, or whatever you do on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment, follow me on other things. I also have a website. It's therapywithmikey.com. And I'm giving my hand a try, or whatever. I'm trying my hand at podcasting. I figure it kind of seems like to me, like, because at first I'm like, okay, there's a blog, or there's a vlog, or there's a podcast, or there's YouTube, or there's video, whatever else there is. But so podcast, to me, it seemed like it kind of incorporates all of them, and it's more the laid back version. Like I think of, Joe Rogan hanging out with guests and smoking weed and, having fun, just talking about controversial subjects. So, yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to be. Like him is also the only podcast I've watched. Sorry, I don't have much time for podcasts or entertainment in general. I'm going through a spiritual awakening, people. Well, actually, I moved on to this another stage, I think, now. But we'll get to that. So the purpose, Cusp of Revolution came about, first of all, because my astrological sign, I fall between, I've always known I was a Scorpio. I'm very proud of the fact. As you know, if you know any Scorpios, they're probably very proud of being Scorpios. Maybe because we're said to be the most sexual, so that could be why. But, recently, and I'd heard over the years that I was on the cusp between Scorpio and Sagittarius, but I didn't know how real that was, and I really felt more Scorpio. But then as I started reading more about it and finding out that is a real thing, but it's a very small, astrology is an ancient science. And if you don't get that joke, watch my YouTube channel, Mikey Lane. And watch the energy one, or any of them. I think I say that on a lot, but astrology is an ancient science, and it's been discredited over the years. They want us to think that, that only crazy people go by that, or it's the devil, or whatever. Lots of times when, I don't know, whoever they is, they want us to think that they don't want us to realize the power we have. And so they deem things as crazy. Oh, they're crazy, or they're evil. But anyway, like I said, about astrology and also about tarot cards, that, it's a tool. And it's a tool to, figure out your inner emotions, your world that's going on inside. Speak to your higher self, your spirit guides. It's not for any evil reasons, and it's a tool that can be used for good, or evil. It depends on the person. It's really the person who is the good or evil. So, it's like a hammer. A hammer, you can use it for good or evil too. You can build a house, or you can bash somebody in the head with it. So, yeah. So it's kind of like that. Anyway, so my birthday is November 21st, at 8:05 p.m. And I am almost exactly on the very cusp between Scorpio and Sagittarius. And that cusp just happens to be called the Cusp of Revolution. And I've always felt like, like the Beatles, I guess, that I was going to start a revolution. But I have always wanted to change the way the world thinks, the way the world works. And all I want is equality for people. Equal, and not assume that I can't do something as good because I'm a woman, or a man can't do something as good because he's a man, but really he couldn't do as good because he's not as good as me. And that bridges me to the next point. I'm not a narcissist. Okay? Really, I've been told, some people think I am, some people think I'm not. Most of the people who think I might be or am are those who have been in, relationships with, romantic relationships. They tend to think that I am a narcissist. But I have a very high opinion of myself, okay? As I think everyone should. You're the only person who's guaranteed to love yourself if you do. So why not? Right? And everybody looks at themselves in the mirror. And then my friend's like, yeah, but they look at themselves in the mirror and say, oh yeah, is this my hair okay? Do I look all right? And I have to be like, oh yeah, I'd fuck me. So that's what I do. Is that weird? Okay. Anyway, but to me the difference is, and I like to say narcissistic things just to get a rise out of people. And really, I just like to do that in general. Is a part of my personality that I like to call shock and awe. And I do this mainly in relationships. But I just like to shock people, basically. Anywho, so then at the Cusp of Revolution, I went to start a conversation about these injustices that have been going on. Like how the 1% or whatever elite have all this money and most of us don't have nothing. I'm promoting a revolution of the mind, a revolution of the spirit. That the collective consciousness, which I know sounds a little 60s hippie-ish stuff, but that's what I started realizing through my awakening, that energy really is all connected, that we are all connected. In whatever ways we might be, even if we're not physically connected or even in our past lives or whatever, we're all connected through this energy and spirit and like oneness, knowing. There's a certain knowing that there is something more out there. And, we might get religious at times on this podcast, but I'm not for organized religion. I was raised a Southern Baptist, and it was very strict. Well, my parents weren't strict on me, but church, the religious viewpoint was very strict. So, I always had to look perfect and wear little dresses with bells and ruffles and the shoes and the hair and I had to know the Bible verses, have them memorized. I had to be there every Sunday, no matter what. I don't know, and that it left a bad taste in my mouth. And then I started to see the way the people in the churches, like so many of them just want power and money and to exclude people. Like, inclusion is the ultimate expression of love, to include people. And most times it's based off of all this hypocrisy and the stuff that, not just Christians, I'm not saying that at all. There's lots of people who can point at others, be like, that's what they're doing wrong, and not see it in themselves. But in this small town, this small microcosm where I live now, because I moved back to my hometown, I never thought I would. It was kind of crazy. But when your life's turned upside down, different times. Well, actually, no, I moved back here because I have 5 kids altogether. Yeah, I know. And the house for sale right next to my parents came up. Or the house next door to my parents came up for sale. And so, I couldn't pass up that opportunity to be like, hey kids, go on up and see Papa and Gigi for a little bit, So I did move back home. And it was after being back home, for some reason, my life-changing events and a lot of my bad choices are always here at home. And so that's when my life did kind of fall apart. After a big upheaval. And I went into the dark night of the soul, is what a lot of people call it. I didn't know all these stages and stuff. I just knew my life was falling apart, and the person that I thought I knew and sacrificed things for seemed at that time to be non-existent, not even the real person. And so I was mourning that, as well as trying to repair my relationships. And I don't know, it just made me question what I'd known as myself so far, because I have had a kind of ego, as we talked about, the narcissism. Oh yeah, and why I'm not a narcissist. Even though I took the test, okay, it's an online test, and I am a therapist, but I still took the test. And out of 40 questions, I got 38, towards being a narcissist. But hey, there's those 2. And this is the big difference. I do have empathy. I have too much empathy. I'm an empath. And so I can't be a narcissist and an empath. I just really think a lot of myself. And then so they say, you're not a narcissist if it's true. So there's that. But so I make lots of narcissistic jokes. I try to make light of basically everything that I can. So just because there's too much heaviness in this world. And I just feel like at this time, we all need to connect, start building a sense of community, because the powers that be, or media, and everybody, all kinds of things, have been trying to, divide and conquer us, basically. And so I've been, I don't know, since I was a little kid, I did a lot of weird things when I was a kid, and think about things that most kids don't think about. But, I knew that I was going to change the world. I mean, I know lots of people probably think that, but, I knew I was here, I had a mission, and I needed to figure out what it was. And I got off track of that mission for a long time. I just got busy with life. I've been kind of a party girl, for lack of a better word, for a long time, but I always got my shit done. So, I always had A's in school. I graduated top of my class in college and with my master's in high school. So, I kind of thought, hey, I can do it all. So why not? But then I guess that's when the Dark Night of the Soul showed up. So anyway, the basic point of the podcast is, it's a few different things. So one is the Cusp of Revolution. How I want to bring light to these subjects that they've tried to keep hidden from us, and I'm going to do interviews and just talk to different kind of people, do some social experiments, and maybe do some live group therapy. I think would be fun, like exposure therapy. So anyway, I have lots of big things planned, but that's my problem. I have all these ideas and they just explode. And they explode all over the place. And then I can't, pull them in and put them all out on a pretty little platter because they're exploded everywhere. So I'm, trying to get my team together, which has been difficult, to say the least. But, because I need somebody to harness and focus my creative abundance, And so as I've been going through this, I'm in a small town, like I said, and I didn't finish that. In future podcasts, will be more organized. This is just an introductory thing to me. But yeah. But this one is just kind of, blah. Here it is. Here's the Cusp of Revolution. Deal with it. Get me Joe Rogan on the phone. No, really, Joe Rogan, if you watch this, I don't know how you would. But if you do, then invite me to be a guest, or you can be a guest on my show via satellite or whatever, via something. Let me know. therapywithmikey@gmail.com. It's Mikey. Or level up with Mikey. 11.11. 11. Why didn't I say 11.11? Okay, so there's that part of the Cusp of Revolution. Dealing with those things that I feel like we need to know so we can level up, so we can all come together in a collective-ish, not a collective, but a community, not a commune. I'm not trying to be a cult leader, but I mean, whatever happens, happens. Okay, but no, I'm not trying to be a cult leader. On top of that is to kind of document my spiritual awakening and help others, because I know when I felt so alone when I was going through mine, and I'm still going through mine, but I feel like I'm coming out the other end now. I'm seeing, every day I'm seeing more things and more downloads about what I'm supposed to be doing and pointing towards my mission. So this is just in the last week, I found out through my spiritual guide, not my spirit guide, but my spiritual guide, that I'm a mystic healer, or that's what I was supposed to be. An energy healer, a shaman. And so, I know that at first I was like, that sounds ridiculous. And, I'm the cheeky guru. That's the name I gave myself. Because I don't like to be taken too seriously. Like, I want to be taken seriously enough to make money, but not seriously enough to bore people. So it's a fine line. So I just try to be myself, basically. So anyway, yeah. So I think next time on the podcast, I'm going to talk about my first shamanic journey, which I had yesterday. That really, I don't know, changed my whole point of view. And not only that, but changed my trajectory of where I'm going with my life and what I'm doing next. And so I'm going to document that on this podcast, as well as, keep growing every day. I hope to expand the community where we can do call-in shows. Like I said, have interviews, have Joe Rogan on, hashtag Joe Rogan, and Dave Chappelle. I'm a Dave Chappelle of mental health, is what I like to say. So, what up, Dave? No, but I do have mad respect for actually both of them. But Dave Chappelle, man, he stepped out the height of his career. He's like, fuck y'all, I need a vacation. Anyway, Rick James, I love those skits. So, anyway, I hope you'll stay tuned to my crazy podcast. I do have a blog. I'm getting lots of things going at once. So, you might go to my blog page and be like, oh, there's only one post here. Well, I'm working on it, people. I have another life too. And check out my YouTube channel, Mikey Lane. On YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, and then I have a website as well where I do some mental health therapy, some real therapy. So it's Therapy with Mikey, and Mikey is MIKEY.com. I have lots of different packages there. Basically, with that part of my life, I'm trying to take the stigma out of mental health, one laugh at a time. That's kind of a tagline I came up with, but it's true. I want to make it just normal that you go talk to a therapist. We all need somebody to talk to. Where they're not like, oh gosh, she went to see the therapist yesterday. She must really be fucked up. Something like that. I'm not sure why it's Valley Girl, but no offense to Valley Girls. But yeah, I just want it to be normal, because when things are kept in the shadows, they have a certain power to them. Like when we keep things hidden, especially if we're keeping them hidden from ourselves, we got that shadow thing going on. I'll talk more about integration of the shadow and my shadow, Veronica M. Jackson. So she'll tell you what the M stands for. Anyway, trying to make things funny. So even though this is some really serious things and passionate things that I'm passionate about, so you'll get to see how people react to my religious, well, I don't want to say religious, because my shunning of organized religion and into the spiritual mystic healer that I'm supposed to become. So on top of leveling everyone up so we can reach a higher frequency to reach higher consciousness, I also am going to document my journey, and which is eventually, maybe sooner than later, going to have an actual physical shamanic journey where I'm going to make some stops to meet, so you all can meet my spirit guides along the way, and while I experience different fun things with spirituality. So, okay. So keep on tuning in to the podcast. Yeah. And I have a degree in everything. All right, myself an integrative empowerment practitioner. Because I still wanted to say practitioner because I do have it. I went to school. I have all these degrees and all these trainings and stuff. So I want some kind of, it sounds fancy. And I take a holistic approach. I believe that we have to look at each part of our lives and see what we can incorporate to bring us together. Get our shit together kind of thing. Is pack up all your shit and get it together. But so the mind, body, and spirit connection, and how powerful our minds are in controlling our physical bodies. I mean, we'll get into that. But it's another thing, that power that's been hidden from us. So I'm a therapist, an integrative empowerment specialist. I am a creator on YouTube. I'm a blogger, but I only have one post right now. Oh, my blog is called Awaken and Level the F Up. So, and what else? Yeah. Oh, and also I'm an author. I'm writing a book series. So, I just started. So, yeah, I got a lot of irons in the fire. So, hopefully something comes out and actually makes something. All right, well, I hope y'all like me. I mean, that's about all I can say. And does anybody like me? And so one thing I've always heard, I don't know why I'm ending on this, but thought of the day, let's say, thought of my life, actually. So they call me Mikey, right? And there's lots of guys that are like, oh, Mikey likes it, over the years. And like, they're implying like I like everything. Like, do you even know what you're talking about? Mikey, on the commercial, he was super picky. He was very selective in what he liked. They were shocked that he liked the cereal. They were like, oh, Mikey likes it. So, just to clear that up, in case anybody thinks that, I'm very selective as well. So, okay. All right, tune in. I don't know how often I'm going to do the podcast. We'll find out. So, all right. Talk to you on the flip side.